Why do we have to support military coups in Africa? We've got some lessons and experience from some dedicated military leaders that we once had in Africa and those that we're having today. We've been well led by a military commander, a general and a marshal, President Samora Machel, and they killed him because he was a good leader with Africans at heart. We've been well led in Libya by a colonel, Muammar Gaddafi, because he had Africa at heart. We've been well led in Burkina Faso by Captain Thomas Sankara, because he had Africans at heart. But when they come with their so-called democratically elected leaders that they form first and groom with their so-called academics, they become the well-groomed slaves of the West, the puppets of the West, who accept and adopt each and every bill, every policy that comes from the West. We are well led in Mali. Since when have we been saying we don't want the West in Mali with a so-called civilian rule? The leaders whom are called the civilian rulers, you know what they do? They go to the West. They become the friends of the West. They continue with the capitalism and neocolonialism. Can you imagine it is only today that we are able to remove a European language as an official language in Africa? These civil leaders that have been groomed in West, when they come here, they come with their Western languages. I've said it before. There is nothing that represents Africa in West. But democracy in Africa is the interest of the West. That is what they call democracy. Their interest in Africa, that is what is called democracy in Africa. But the interests of Africa are not considered. It's called the human rights violation. Reason we are behind the coups in Africa, reason we are supporting any coup leader, military coups in Africa. Because imagine the opposition parties of Africa, they are formed and funded in West, and some of our leaders that are in power today are funded by the West. African Union, like I said before, ECOWAS, SADC, funded by the West. Are we free like that? If we are not able to fund our own organizations to save the interests of Africa, then today you say we must not support the African coups. Show me where the civilian leadership has once led Africa to a better land. Which country was led by a civilian? Which country? Prove me wrong. Which country?